Good day, everyone. This is Meredith Leon McCormick for World Bride Magazine. We have an amazing segment for you guys today. As you know, bridal season in the US is in full swing for so many reasons, because we have been locked down and couples had to cancel their wedding, postpone their weddings, and they're still shuffling to find vendors to help them navigate their way through this wedding process. So we are super excited to invite a special guest all the way from Knoxville, Tennessee, Mr. Fred Jacob. Woo!
Hey, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. Thank you so much. I know, like, we're an hour difference, isn't that right?
No, actually, we're at the same time zone.
Oh, okay, cool. So please, for those that don't know who you are, please tell us your full name and the name of your company.
Sure, it's Fred Jacob. I started this company 31 years ago and printing a bridal magazine, and then started doing bride shows with my wife, who has been my lifetime partner, and we're getting ready to celebrate 48 years of marriage, self-employed the entire time.
Whoa, that's a lifetime.
It's a lifetime. And some men will say to me, how do you do it? I say, I whatever she says, the answer is yes. And I take care of business right away, because if I don't, she's going to be all over me till it's done. So yes, what do I need to do? Got that?
Yes, Captain.
That's it.
I got it.
We got it.
And then you start your day, and then you can do whatever you want, right?
Then I feel, yes, I can do whatever I want. And as long as she's happy. Like, she doesn't even put gas in her car. I'm her gas fare.
You make for a great business partner, a life partner, and everything in between. We love it. We love it. Hey, yes. Maybe you should be writing a book on tips on how to stay married.
Well, that'll be my next job. I'll do that in the future. Right now, I'm just taking care of business today.
We love that. And then we could do the giveaways at one of your wedding shows.
Oh, yes. Yes, 31 years of doing this. And of course, over 31 years, a lot has happened.
Absolutely. And so let's get back to that. What made you start the business, both of you? Why would you want to wrangle in people for a show that helps more people and, to wrangle in more vendors? Why would you want to do that?
Well, my goal through my father was always trying to figure out how to help people. And I saw that need in helping, as you just explained, bringing people together, those that are getting married and those that want to help those getting married. And what better way to do this 31 years ago, pre-internet, than to have this ability to come into a building, and I called it like a wedding mall for the day. You get to come walk the mall, so to speak, just like you'd walk a mall, except everything here is about weddings.
Now, like you said, 31 years ago, when there was no internet, we didn't have access to, all we had was maybe the phone book. And then you had to go through that heavy phone book, find the people, call them up randomly, hope you can get them, go drive over. If they were all over the city, wherever city you lived in, you had to visit these people, So what do you really believe that going to a wedding show, it's relevant and needed in today's environment?
Well, it's there's a couple reasons. First off, you don't really realize how much bonding goes on between the attendees when they come to this 3, 4, 5 hour event, and they're focused on the wedding, whether it's the mother and her daughter, the sisters, best friends. This is a time that they normally wouldn't have done elsewhere. They come in and they're focused on the wedding. They're thinking about the wedding. They're looking at things. They're sitting down. They're talking. What'd you think about that? Let's go talk about this. So the first thing that I don't think people realize, it's a great opportunity to get some great opportunity to bond with the people who are most important in concerning the wedding plans.
Right.
Then secondly, just like going to a wedding, the vendors who are at a show have started early in the morning to prepare. They've set their booth up. You're now coming to see them through the afternoon, and now you're talking to them
Right.
after they've been working quite a bit. This
Right.
is very similar to your wedding day.
Right.
So the way they treat you right now in that booth at 3 o'clock on that afternoon is kind of the way they're going to treat you at your wedding.
Right. And
And
the
if
way,
you're not,
yeah, and I love the way you said that, because I feel like that is the first interview as though you were getting a job, because not only are you interviewing them, they're interviewing you. Because if the energy doesn't match, it's going to be unfortunate. It's going to be a hot mess.
it's a marriage for the day. And
Mhm.
if that marriage for the day is not going to work, then the end of the day is not going to be pleasant. And so this opportunity to walk the floor, to look at someone, to walk up to them, how do they react to you? To walk away, go talk to some other people, then to come back for a second little visit. This you can't do. You
Right.
can't do this online, right? And like you said, even in Zoom calls like this, you're still not getting that warm and fuzzy that you get in person.
Absolutely
And
not.
this isn't like Amazon where you can return what you don't want the next day. I mean, Amazon is good for a lot of things,
Yes,
but
not
not
this.
for your wedding,
No, you
not
can't.
to choose your cake.
But it's
Your
not,
cake.
it's definitely not, let's redo this again. It's not a magazine shoot, although will cost us a fortune to shoot it and then to reshoot it again. At least we have the option to try to salvage it and redo it again. You cannot redo your wedding, because more than likely, according to the wedding report, at least most Americans spend an average, and this is working class Americans, $26,000 for a wedding. For some families, that's a salary. That's somebody's yearly salary to do that. So it would not be wise to not meet people. And if given the opportunity to attend a bridal show such as yours, that you would go and meet and see how people are engaging with other guests and other people. It's like, okay, I like their energy. I like the way, you get to sample wonderful things. So those are some cool benefits. Do you have some more?
Well, for a vendor to make the investment to be in our shows, and of course we are checking out the participants, you can feel somewhat comfortable that whoever you choose at our show is going to do you a good job, right? Now, how much it is and how much you want to spend, those are things you need to talk about, but not like going online. You don't know necessarily what you're getting, and you don't know necessarily, the worst case, the thing is they don't show up for your wedding. And what are you going to do? You can't take care of hiring a new photographer on the day of your wedding.
Right.
So coming to a show, seeing these people, knowing they've made an investment, knowing they've been there, and knowing that the show producer is behind them, that speaks a lot that people don't even think about.
That is a phenomenal point that as a publisher, I think about it, because I know when we write an article, when we interview someone, if we haven't done our research on the person, the average consumer, the average viewer doesn't know what's real and what's fake. So they assume that every person that's featured in the magazine is being endorsed by the magazine. So our neck is on the line too. And I have this conversation even with my other business, MLM Represent, where we represent different people for marketing and branding and helping them to develop their brand. When you drop the ball, it also impacts my business, because the minute I attach myself to you, viewers, the public now says, oh, your association with these people says you like them or you do business with them, I'm going to trust them. So when you mess it up, you mess it up for all of us. So now my reputation is on the line because you didn't do what you wanted to do, or you weren't prepared to do what you needed to do for your own business. So I guess that brings me, that kind of answers the question that I had. What are some of the challenges and the benefits in the industry for both brides and vendors? And you just made a perfect point. You get to vet these people out. What is the process of vetting out people? Can anybody just say, hey, I have the money, I'm going to come in and I want to be a vendor?
No, it certainly starts with how long have you been in business. Certainly looking at a website, looking at the number of testimonials they've received. Pretty much any existing business has been on the wedding wire or they're not, and they have references there. And just a general social media just search. Because if you don't treat somebody right today, they're going to go on social media and everybody's going to hear about it.
Absolutely.
So it's hard to hide that. The other thing, the other point about coming to the show is it's not that it's easy to negotiate, but looking at options and offers and things that you could do that you might not have thought about. Like, let's say instead of having a Saturday wedding, you have a Thursday night wedding.
Right.
And the pricing is different because it's Thursday night, not Saturday. Maybe you wouldn't have thought about Thursday night unless you had come to the show.
Right.
Most of the vendors understand that are at the show, they want to incentivize you to make a decision sooner than later. So they come up with some kind of offer, some kind of incentive. Another reason to go through the mall, so to speak. What is your offer? So I kind of tell the mother and the daughter, who's the good girl and the bad girl, so to speak, in this negotiating. As you go around to see vendors, one of you go, oh, is that the best you can do? Don't you have a special offer today? You know, and again, have fun with it, right?
And I think that's super cool, being able to negotiate then. And we released an article, I think yesterday on Monday, and it was about my trip to Mexico. We went to a beautiful, just a beautiful resort spa place. But before we went to visit that, which was a few months ago, we had to weigh in and decide, is this the right time to release the article? Because numbers are going up again, and how do we show people that it's safe to fly, it's safe to travel? And so we have to do our due diligence before we release any article. So it's not an issue of, oh yeah, you just gave me an interview, it'll be out tomorrow morning. I have to be more diligent about who we're featuring in the publication so that people know that we have their best interests. So you have vetted out the vendor. The bride now knows that you stand behind the vendors that you have selected to bring to this show. It's almost like that check verification on Instagram. You've been verified.
You've been verified. And you know, vendors, again, the warm and fuzzy is so easy to determine when you're at the show that you can't do through the internet or Zooming. And I tell the brides and the guests and the spouses who come, if you don't feel good about what's happening at a booth, walk away. I mean, you're under no obligation here. And don't sign any contracts until you've checked things out and you fully understand that in most cases, any monies you pay as a payment, as a down payment, are more than likely non-refundable. So don't be paying and don't be signing until you know exactly what you want to do. And therefore, whether it's, you know, the cake sampling, the catering, visiting the venue, whatever it is, do your due diligence to make sure you're happy. And in most cases, you will be. And in most cases, it's going to be a wonderful time. But it is a time after COVID that we've all learned to kind of pivot a little bit. We've all learned that it may have been what we thought it was going to be, but maybe it's going to be turned a little differently now. Because the world is kind of like a little upside down.
Yes, it really is. And there's more precautions that have to be taken. And we as professionals of people management in the bridal industry, I really feel like you and I are in the same space. You just do live shows and I just do it in video and in writing. But we have to vet out everyone that we present because our reputation is on the line. And so do you think that hiring a professional is the way to go, especially surviving and navigating our way through COVID now? Because before, let your cousin do it. Oh, let your uncle do it. Do you recommend that that brides, couples start hiring professionals to ensure that they get it in one shot?
Well, if they're going to have a wedding of any financial consequence, like you're saying, the average $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, I believe it's like, would you go build a house with your own hammer and nails? No. So I believe the first thing you should do is hire a wedding planner. Hire someone who's in the market, number one, hire a wedding planner, because she's going to vet and revet the people that you're talking to.
Absolutely.
And she's going to guide you in the direction that you said what you're interested in.
Absolutely.
And a wedding planner is there when something goes wrong.
Absolutely.
And something will go wrong, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And it's going to go wrong. There is no way you plan this kind of event without things happening that's not the way it was supposed to be.
Right.
And I had a wedding planner come to me one Saturday morning saying that she just found out that night before that bride was not going to get married at that location that her mother had chosen. And by 5 o'clock that afternoon, she was getting married in a church. Now you go find me a church. Well, the wedding planner, being who she was able to do that.
Because she's armed.
That's it.
She has years of experience. You're not paying her to be your personal assistant to do what you say, and you've never done this before. You're paying her to take the leadership role to navigate this for you as seamless as possible.
And she is your person. She's listening to you.
Yep.
With all your issues.
Exactly.
Family issues.
But I also think that another thing that couples need to realize that hiring a wedding planner is not a personal assistant only. While
Right.
they have certain responsibilities that are similar, but you're hiring them for their professionalism and for their expertise and the relationships they have built within the industries with certified, verifiable vendors for
Yes.
years. So they're owed respect and they've earned it. And so when they determine what their rate is for the job, the task that they're about to do, I think people need to start taking that a little bit seriously. And I find that to be a little bit challenging when I speak to wedding planners and event producers. You know, they're challenged by that. People think, oh, we don't need a wedding planner. I have my maid of honor is going to do it. I think that's going to be difficult while your maid of honor is fluffing your dress and walking down the aisle, is also sending cues to the DJ what music to play and and telling the minister to go on cue, you know.
So what I tell the wedding planners that are in my shows who say, but people aren't going to want to hire me because they're going to say, let my other person do it. I said, exactly. So you go ahead and give them the list of the 100 things that you do and say, here's the list of things they need to do. Please take it. It's free, right? And they're going to look at that list and go, oh, they're not going to do all that. That's exactly why you need me, you know? It's kind of like saying, I'll go buy my own flowers. Here's a bunch, try it. See what you can come up with, right? Now, the second thing that I find so many brides say to me after they get married is they wish they had, in addition to the other professionals, they wish they had hired a videographer. They just don't understand the photography, the flowers, the cake, and the cater, all necessary things.
Yes.
And some reason they get to videography and they think, well, we're going to have pictures. We don't need the sound and emotion and the movement that videography gives us. Phooey, you're not only do you need it, but your kids and your grandkids are going to need it. They're
and TikTok needs it too.
That's right. That's right. So number 2, make sure you hire a videographer. And there's videographers of all different price ranges. There's some that will turn your wedding into a movie, and there's some that basically will just capture the video.
Yes, I agree. Oh, what great tips and pointers. So you just summed it all up, why it's so necessary for us to visit one of your bridal show, The Pink Bride. Can you tell us, where are you guys going to be and where can we crash one of your bridal shows? Absolutely.
So I do 6 different cities in Tennessee and Birmingham, Alabama. And so we do 6 shows, 6 different cities twice a year. So in July, August, and September, we'll be doing the 6 cities: Chattanooga, Nashville, Knoxville, Tri-Cities, Memphis, and Birmingham. So you go to thepinkbride.com and you can check the city nearest you. Now, if you're not in my area, there are bridal shows all over the country. And one of the associations that I'm part of is Bridal Show Producers International,
Right.
BSPI, Bridal
Right.
Show Producers International. And you can go to their website and you can find a show in California or Chicago or wherever. And
Right.
they're all equitable, so to speak, to the Pink Bride. We're all part of this association. We're all, not everyone is a Fred Jacob, but we all are, but we all have bridal shows all over the country. So the Pink shows, thepinkbride.com. And if I can help in any way, I'm here to help and guide. And whether it's a vendor trying to figure out how to make it work, or whether it's a bride or a mother, whatever I can do. And I so appreciate this time to share. And hopefully, as my dad taught me, this will pay it forward in some way.
Oh, absolutely. I can't thank you enough for having this conversation. We happen to be the media partner for Tatiana for the wedding salon and her show. And so we're going to 5 different cities. We're going, well, of course, New York, my hometown, California, Los Angeles, Miami, Chicago, and what's the next one? Houston. So we're going to Houston. So I am super, super excited to meet people, meet the brides, hear their thoughts, hear about their challenges, because that just feeds into the articles that we submit. And so I definitely want to come to Tennessee. I've been invited to go to, I think it's Nashville, the Joseph's Hotel.
Right.
I hear it's absolutely exquisite. So I will be there very soon. So you and I are going to have to meet.
Absolutely.
Your shows sound phenomenal. And it looks like, we can learn a lot from it. Do you happen to do workshops so that the brides can actually hear some of these planners, producers, photographers speak and do anything? Is there anything of that sort that goes on in there?
Well, we currently are not doing that because we want everyone to come to the shows.
Right.
And
Okay.
we believe the best learning can be done at the shows.
Okay.
But I'm always interested in new ideas. So maybe that's something to consider.
Yeah, maybe we should do something. We should do it at the show while the brides are there to hear these amazing vendors that you have, because they sound phenomenal and, worthy of people hearing what they have to say, because they've vested their time, their energy, their resources in creating these phenomenal businesses. So
yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Fred. So can you give us your website one more time and your
social media handle? It's thepinkbride.com. So THEPINKBRIDE.com. And my name is Fred Jacob. I'm the president, along with my wife, Donna, and we're willing and excited to help any way that we can.
We love that. But before we go, you said you created something that I want people to know how genius you are with little ideas for the industry anyway, the event planning industry or people that have businesses. What is it that you created before?
I created BrideScan, BRIDESCAN.com. BrideScan allows the attendees at my shows or any shows using BrideScan to walk around the show. And if they see a vendor they're interested in, they take their phone, they aim and push their camera at the QR code of that vendor. And when they do, they get that vendor's information and the vendor gets their information, a two-way swap electronically.
Wow, that's amazing. You just provide things for everybody.
I know. I'm good.
No, and that's good for the sustainable aspect of it. So we're not killing the environment, it's just a tick away, and we can just be in communication with everyone that we need to plan this soiree, as I would love to call it. Thank you again, Fred. I appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Guys, there you have it. That was Fred. You have to literally go out and check out the website. And for all of you guys, our readers that are in Tennessee, please look at the schedule and see where you can crash one of his shows and meet some of the most spectacular wedding professionals that you want producing your wedding soiree. So until the next time, ciao bella.